Happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome to This Is Not Legal Advice Tarot. And it is one of our fantastic It's Friday, Am I in Love sessions where we're going to do a special Halloween theme. I have my beautiful cards here that I got that are special for some horror movies. And we're going to start with those to talk about the energy applicable to you and your person. So, that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Let's find out what the energy is for my beautiful viewers person. I hope you're having a beautiful Friday so far and you have great plans for tonight. You know, it's said that on Halloween, the veil between the living and the dead is thinner than usual. So maybe today's a day where you're visited by former loves in your life or spirits, ancestors perhaps, people sharing wisdom from your history. Or maybe you're just celebrating, some of your intuition, things that mean a lot to you. Anywho, let us get one more card and then we'll get started. Okay. All right. So for your person, we have Forsaken. Neutral forces, gray area between good and evil. Don't be fooled by appearances. Forsaken. Ooh, there we go. And this is, of course, from the Hellraiser series. All these things are fair use and accredited for in the cards. Yes, Forsaken. Let's see. We also have Facing Your Demons. Time to express yourself, not running anymore, surprising yourself with your growth. You know, maybe here you're learning that things aren't black and white, right? Things are hard to categorize in a way that is 1 or 0, if you're talking about like computer programming or what have you. There's gray area in emotion. There's not a clean and easy answer sometimes. It's not something that can be shown to be, again, just this way or that way. There's a lot of gray area here. And that's what I'm seeing with that Forsaken card, because perhaps you're feeling like because there's not a decision like black, white, 1, 0, on or off, that you're somehow forsaken. But maybe there's a middle ground that is neither, black or white. It's something else. Facing your demons, time to express yourself. If you're not running anymore, maybe, your person, and this is all your person's energy, by the way, on this side. Maybe your person is not only recognizing that it's not black or white, and maybe you're recognizing it too. Maybe that's mirrored in your energy here. I'm seeing a lot of mirroring. We haven't even got really started, but I'm feeling and seeing a lot of mirroring. But here, you're growing spiritually, or your person's growing to where they understand it doesn't have to be 0 or 100. It can be slow. It can be steady. It can be this gray area. And, I'm feeling like maybe that's tough for you. Maybe it's tough for you to understand that this person is in this zone of neither this nor that, 1 or 0. You are seeing this person as being indecisive, and that indecision is making you feel like this person doesn't really love you, but I don't think that's true. So let's keep going. We have quiet time. Saying too much, take action, not just talking about it, quietly contemplating. So again, this person that you're dealing with here, or you're thinking about, my beautiful collective, is someone who maybe isn't speaking with you right now. Or if they are speaking with you, they're not being particularly clear about how they feel and what they want. They're not, even though they're trying to express themselves, maybe they're having some trouble. I'm feeling like there's some difficulty in their ability to express themselves, whether it's insecurity or there's something else going on in their lives where they, for whatever reason, cannot fully express themselves. But again, I'm seeing this energy of just because they're not saying exactly what you would like to hear, that doesn't mean that they are forsaking you or don't love you. All right, let's get some for you here. We've got good advice, trusting a friend's advice, seeking truth, asking for help. So I'm going to put this on your side. We're over here with you. Again, maybe you are so confused by this person's actions and their seeming, kind of indifference, that you are just, you're kind of kicking it around. You're talking to your friends. Well, he didn't call or she didn't call. And what do I do about it? Maybe they don't care about me. And maybe your friend is telling you to like calm your jets for just a second and let this person sort of sort things out and don't jump to any conclusions, is what I'm hearing. Risk and reward, a tempting offer, discernment, and weighing options. So perhaps you, my beautiful viewer, in your quest to make sense of the person's motives, the person you really want, you're thinking, okay, do I hold tight and wait for this person to come clear and clean with me, or do I give in to maybe some alternative third party options here? Um, do I move forward with my life? Do I kind of give up on this situation? Hey, a lot of that advice out there is like, if they wanted to, they would, right? And so maybe you're hearing some of that advice, and I'm not saying it's bad advice. I mean, sometimes it has a place, but maybe you're kind of grappling with that. If they wanted to, they would, but they're not. So maybe they don't care. Maybe I need to go on because someone else is interested. And I think you're going back and forth. What's the risk? What's the reward? Showtime. New idea, manifesting your will, determination to pull you through. Whatever the case may be, whatever it is you decide to do, viewer, in terms of kind of holding out hope here or just straight up moving on, I feel like you're not going halfway with it. You're really gonna just go ahead and go all in. If you're going to start dating other people, you're getting on the apps, you're seeing what's out there. And that, by the way, may not always be a great thing. I mean, having been on the apps myself, it's just kind of a mess. Um, but maybe that's where you're at. You're putting, because they're not making a decision, you're going to make the decision for them in a sense. You're going to just go ahead and just do the thing, get the stuff, go into the dating apps, whatever. Or, you could be looking at that alternative, that extreme alternative of, well, I don't want to go on the dating apps. This person doesn't know what they want. So I'm just going to hold out and wait for them to figure this out. And what I'm hearing is it doesn't have to be ones and zeros. It doesn't have to be on or off, black or white. It can be an energy of, I'm good if it happens. I'm good if it doesn't. I'm going to continue living my life. And maybe I'm hoping for something positive with this person over here, but I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop my life and wait for them to figure it out. I would like them to figure it out, and maybe they will, but I'm not going to wait. Let me get the card for the energy between you two. We have drama, fighting, arguments, family, and relationship problems. And that's what I'm seeing here. Maybe this is somebody where there was a lot of bickering, a lot of back and forth. Maybe, you wanted commitment, they didn't. You wanted some clarity, they weren't able to give that to you. Maybe you wanted to move in or get married, they didn't want to do those things just yet. There's a difference, though, here I'm seeing in the scales, and I'm feeling like very justice energy, very Six of Pentacles, and we'll see that in a little bit. We'll see what the tarot has to say. But whatever it is, it caused conflict between the two of you where, you're here looking for some kind of indication, like, what do you want? And they're over here like, I'm not really sure. Can we just kind of play it by ear? And I think it wasn't good enough for you. And I don't mean that in a bad way, right? I don't mean like, oh, you were wrong to think that. I just feel like maybe it wasn't a satisfying result. Maybe it was something that you couldn't feel like you could live with. Maybe you put up some boundaries. Maybe that's that like Seven of Wands energy. And again, I'm not mad at it. I'm not blaming you. I'm not saying you were wrong in doing it. I'm just saying that is what it feels like to me at this point. Let's get some clarity on the drama. What is the drama for your baby mama here? What is the drama, Spirit? Thank you again for joining me on This Is Not Legal Advice on this fine Friday. It is Halloween when I'm doing this, and again, it is a very powerful day. We have some great things coming up. We have, a full moon on November 5th. It's a super moon. We also have Mercury going retrograde on November 9th. There's a lot of energies kind of fluctuating and shifting around here. So that could be impacting you and, making you feel some kind of way. Mercury with its communication aspects. Anyway, we've got a highway to hell. Now, I got to laugh because this is that scene from one of the Final Destination movies where it's like these logs fall off a truck, and it traumatized people from me and my generation for years and years. Like, oh, I can't drive behind that. I still to this day think like, I can't drive behind that truck. It's got, metal poles or tree trunks or whatever. But anyway, it says highway to hell, premonitions, seeing the future clearly, avoiding mistakes. I think what I'm feeling with this is perhaps each of you were projecting out into the future. Like, what if we go this way? What if we go that way? What does that look like? I mean, is this really going to work out long term? Are we going to get sick of each other in 6 months? Are we really able to go the distance on this thing? And I'm feeling like you wanted to make some decision either way. Like, are we going to make it? Are we not? And this person was like, I don't know. And it was very confusing for them. And they didn't feel like any rush to make that decision. Very hangman energy. Like, they didn't want to jump into anything. They weren't willing to be the fool, if you will. You were ready to be the fool. You were ready to go like whole hog, like all up in this thing. And they're like, I don't know. And maybe that was frustrating to you. You were looking to the future and seeing everything's bright and beautiful and sun energy, or at least could be. And they weren't willing to take that chance. Maybe they were hurt in the past. Let's take a look. What is the energy of the person on my viewer's mind? What is the energy? Why are they backing away? Why are they in this middle ground? What happened to them? What happened where they are in this middle zone where they can't make a decision? What happened? What happened? Okay, we have matriarch, feminine power, living your truth, taking control. Okay, of course, this is the beautiful sorry, pardon my French, Kathy Bates in a stellar performance of Misery. So, I'm seeing Misery M, matriarch M. Maybe M is a significant letter for you. Maybe your mother, another M. Your mother's name is M, starts with an M, or there's an M that is coming to your mind when I read this card. It doesn't have to be your mother. It could be an aunt, grandmother, other maternal figure in your life. But it's the idea of, this person telling you, I want to say, like, I'm saying, like, be a man, but this is not a gendered reading. So it's the energy of be a man. Get your stuff together. Maybe you grew up in an environment where you were told at a young age that you had to behave in ways, your person, I mean, that were very much older than you or more mature than you. And you were just a child, right? You didn't have the capacity for that. But for years and years, perhaps you were under this impression that you had to go X way or Y way. And maybe in your own way as an adult, or this person as an adult, they don't want to do that anymore. They're tired of it. They want to just let things be. They're in a way kind of revolting against this, or rebelling against it. They're tired of it. Maybe again, it was a female figure in their lives that, told them, hey, be the man your father could never be. Be the man where, like, your grandfather went out for a pack of cigarettes and never came back. Like, don't be that guy. Be better than that. But in a way that's like toxic, where you didn't get to experience being a child and really exploring some feelings that you had. And by you, I mean, I'm kind of saying it you, but I mean your person that you're thinking of, viewer. Maybe that's why they appear to be in this very unsure energy, is because they have the luxury of being unsure at this point in their lives, rather than being the decision maker, rather than being in this position of power that they're not ready for. We have hanged woman. Well, we just talked about the hangman energy. Time to pause, thinking rationally, not ignoring signs of danger. And a second card came out, emancipation. Relieved from toxic person, leaving selfishness behind, sacrificing to find healing. So, I think that you're really in your head, viewer. I think that you are stuck up in this idea of, again, the ones and the zeros, the blacks and the whites, the clarity, the need for clarity. Your person almost is running from clarity. I'm hearing like a running sensation, or feeling a running sensation. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to let things be. Why can't you let things be? Why can't you just relax into it before we hit danger here? And again, I'm not saying this is a better position. This is also a position born of fear, and fear is the opposite of love. Fear is not a place where we can find love. But this is also a position of fear. Because if you are, again, in that ones and zeros energy, and I don't know why I'm saying ones and zeros today. Maybe it's because like your person's a computer programmer. Maybe you are. Maybe you just very much fancy all things technology. But whatever the case may be, your need for clarity is a extrapolation of the need for control. You know, they feel like they're in control by dictating the pace of the relationship, and you feel like you are in control by getting like, oh, is it this or this? Like, and if you can't have it this way, you don't want it. So either way, on both sides of this, there needs to be that balance. There needs to be, again, that justice energy, that Six of Pentacles. That's really what I'm feeling here is like there is a place between I'm just not going to do anything because that is fine, or I need to know now. Those are both positions, again, born out of fear of moving forward, for lack of potential results, versus fear of if I don't know what it is, I can't relax into it. And that's where we have emancipation. I'm feeling like you are finding healing and you're setting yourself free, perhaps, my viewer, which I think is a beautiful energy. You're setting yourself free from the need to control, from the need to have clarity, from just sort of relaxing into it, from, you know what, if this person comes back around, that's fine, but I'm going to go ahead and live my life, whatever that means, whether it's, again, living as like, I don't want to say a hermit, but living celibately or not dating or intentionally not seeking anything out, just letting things be as they are, maybe progressing in that fashion. Or on the other side, I'm going to live my life and go out and maybe try for new love. Um, I think that that's your energy, is you're kind of ascending in that way where you are starting to willingly let go of control. Maybe you're not seeing it specifically that way, but you are kind of in an energy of acceptance moving forward. And again, I think that's great. And I'm seeing like the Chariot energy here, where the more you kind of let go of the reins and let the horses do what they do, they're moving forward, they're doing the right thing. So anyway, let's go ahead and see what the bottom of the deck is. We have creation, following through on what you had started, hard work, completion. I think this is both of you. I'm really feeling here that both of you are working on your respective, I don't want to say weaknesses, just your challenges, in terms of, again, controlling through non-action versus controlling through definition, I'll say. But I do think that this person on your mind, viewer, is truly working through their indecisive energy, their refusal to make a decision for fear of it being the wrong one, or for fear that they're going to be put in that position again where they're responsible for making decisions and held accountable when maybe they aren't ready for it. So, but I do think, like I said, I'm seeing whether this person is seeking therapy or in other ways moving forward. It may not be obvious on the surface, but it's there for sure. And you're not seeing it necessarily, which is why I think you're getting a little frustrated. But let's go ahead and get some tarot on this. I'd like to look at your person's energy, your energy, the energy between you at present. So I will link, by the way, all of the tarot decks that I'm using, all the decks, the oracle decks that I'm using. I'm so excited, again, because it is Halloween. I get to use, some of my decks that are more Halloween-esque feeling. I have a wonderful collection of decks, and I keep adding to the collection, which, I probably shouldn't at this point, but I just, I see these beautiful works of art, these decks, and I just can't help myself. So I think when I do start my Patreon, I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the decks that I have. So if you're curious, maybe you're starting your own tarot practice and you want to know more about that, we can talk about that on Patreon when I get a chance. So anyway, Spirit, what I'd like to know is what the general energy of the person in my viewer's mind is. What is their general energy? Where are they in life? How are they feeling? Again, generally. And mind your ears. There's going to be a little bit of noise there. We're going to get some cleaning, some clarifying energy by sound. Thank you, Spirit. All right. I feel like your person is someone who maybe hides how they feel, but let's take a look. We have 4 of Pentacles, 2 of Cups, and the Chariot. And I believe I just mentioned the Chariot, did I not? Huh, interesting. It's almost as if I feel things and understand things. I don't know, it's weird. Anywho, and bottom of the deck energy, we have the King of Swords. So let's talk about these things first. So your person's current energy, 4 of Pentacles, if you think they've moved on from you and your connection, you're wrong. This is somebody who is definitely holding on to this connection that you all have. And, it is Pentacles, though. It is Pentacle energy. We have, that here. And, they could also be concerned about their finances. So, they're holding on to you, but I think there's also like a hint of their finances are very important to them right now. The 2 of Cups is an equal exchange of energy, which is interesting because in this particular deck, you have your 2 of Cups here, this way in a column equally, but they're not like this column over here is empty. So even though this energy is typically one of, again, that equal exchange, it's equal in one sense, but not another. And, honestly, I'd rather see them both like kind of diagonal and it's all around equal. But here it's like we have these two where they're almost like, I don't want to say because they're cups, right? So they're not like seeing each other. They don't have eyeballs or anything like that, but they're not walking side by side. They're walking or they're going in a position of somebody's higher than or thinks they're better than the other one. And so let's go on to the Chariot. Again, we talked about the Chariot. In this deck, the Chariot is these 2 tigers looking things here. And okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you, viewer. Okay, in this deck, you've got the person who's the driver of the Chariot has the skin of what looks like one of these tiger-ish animals on his head, almost as if to say to me, like, hey guys, either cooperate or I'm going to make a headdress out of you, which is an energy of control. And perhaps that insistence on control is why these tigers are not moving. There's not a letting up of the reins. There's just a sense of forcing things. So your Chariot is number 7 in the traditional tarot. So we have 7, 2, 4. Maybe July 24th is important, or April 27th, I'm hearing. It could be February 4th or February 7th or July 2nd, July 4th. Regardless, if those dates mean something, then maybe this reading is really for you. It doesn't mean if they aren't in there, it's not. But what I'm really feeling like with this combined energy is you have somebody who at one level is keeping control, right? But that control, like, again, it's control in a sense of like, yes, they're here and they're lording over this ability to move forward, but they're breaking the chains. And even though they have the ability to move forward, their sense of control is not moving. They're exhibiting or exerting their control through a lack of movement. Yes, they're holding on to you. Yes, they love you. Yes, they're wanting perhaps this give and take, this equal give and take, although they may feel like there is not a balance in energy, right? You got this like there's nothing on one side and everything on the other. Maybe they feel like they were giving everything to this and you weren't, or vice versa. But this is an energy of, at least to me, I am controlling things through non-action. And then we have King of Swords, which totally tracks with all of that, right? Where you've got an individual in this extreme air energy who is lording over his kingdom with absolute ruthlessness, a ruthless addiction to logic, lack of sort of tempering that logical inclination with with passion, with kindness, with love. There's just a lack of, again, balance of this extreme intellectual energy with something. And I'm feeling this here. 10 of Wands. This is a struggle. It's an end of a cycle because it's a 10, right? But it is very much an energy of, I have a lot going on and I don't know if I have time for this. And I wanted to show you something, viewer. We have everybody here. We got the Four of Pentacles. Pentacles are your earth energy. That is Taurus, Libra, Capricorn. We got Cups. Cups are your Cancer and your Scorpio and your Pisces. And by the way, happy birthday, Scorpio. It is your season. We've got King of Swords. Swords is air energy. That's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And Wands is your fire energy, which is Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And what I'm hearing here is, in this progression that we've gone here from right to left, the person's priorities that you're thinking about are money, and then maybe kind of love, logic, thought, educational pursuits perhaps, and then passion. Passion is at the end of the road. Action, motion. Wands are also representative not only of passion, but of motion, of taking action. That is the last on their laundry list of things to do. And since we had all four of the sign types there, I'm seeing, a magician type energy, a manifestation energy. All right, we have my friend here, the Page of Pentacles. By the way, I say my friend because this little guy shows up in every single one of my readings for myself. It's an energy of starting over. It's an energy of trying something anew. But again, in a pentacle sort of way where it's slow, it's steady. Let's find out, my viewer, what energy you are in right now. Where are you with respect to this connection in your life, etc.? Thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate you. I'm trying to speak at a reasoned pace. However, if you would like to speed things up, you can advance things to 1.25 or 1.5 speed, and I'll just, and my shuffling will be a lot faster. So, what is the energy of my viewer, please, Spirit? Current energy of my viewer. And then what we'll do after this, by the way, is we'll figure out sort of where you and your person are emotionally, generally, and towards each other. And then we'll look at some, possible actions and outcomes here. All right, let's take a look. Spirit, where is my viewer? I mean, they're obviously watching. This is not legal advice, but where are they feeling? And now, also, I want to be clear. I do not generally try to read things that are in reverse. However, sometimes things happen where they just come out how they are, and we do what we do. So, we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Two of Wands. Four of Cups. Oh, man. Ace of Swords. The Star. And Six of Pentacles, which is the card I've mentioned multiple times in this reading, the energy here. Okay. I'm actually surprised the Ten of Pentacles is the only one that's reversed here because of how things just kind of flew out. And I thought more than certainly one card would flip around, which is why I gave you that preface about not looking at things in reverse. But the Ten of Pentacles is an energy of not just coming to completion because it's a 10, but it's like it's energy of like happiness, of, sort of across the board happiness, financial security, familial security. It's more of a stable future. And I'm seeing here that you, I don't want to say giving up, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. You're giving up. You're giving up on the possibility of a future with this person in your energy. I think there's a sense of like hopelessness here, but we'll find out. So going Two of Wands, this is a energy, not quite Two of Swords, like making a firm decision or being torn between two decisions, but maybe you're actually kind of coming to a decision and seeing a future here. Like you have one option that's way looking better than the rest. But Four of Cups is an energy of disappointment. Ace of Swords, truth. Star is hope. And Six of Pentacles is that balance, that give and take in a relationship. And so altogether, it seems like you really wanted this Ten of Pentacles, completion, long-term future energy, familial energy with this person. And you were working on balancing it out, but there was a disappointment because there was a lack of clarity, as we talked about earlier. Your person's kind of viewing it like, what do we need clarity for? And you're like, oh, I'd like that. You're disappointed. There's a lack of clarity, but at some level, viewer, I think you're hopeful that maybe there's a place of stasis. Maybe there's a place of balance. Maybe there's a give and take energy that can happen. And we have Eight of Pentacles at the bottom. So I see that as, maybe you're thinking, I have hope that if we put in the work, we can get to this energy of growth, of equality, of give and take. Um, so I think that's great, viewer, that you haven't completely given up despite this clarity that you wanted to be there not being there. So, don't give up hope, and by the way, I just cut this up this way and I got Two of Swords, which I just mentioned. It's not quite Two of Swords, but there's a Two of Swords, my dear. So let us find out what, my dear viewer, your person is feeling. I want to see how they see you. How do they see my viewer? How does this person on my viewer's mind, how do they see my viewer? Thank you, Spirit. How do they see the viewer? How does the person on my viewer's mind, how do they see the viewer? And it's possible, by the way, this is a future energy. I'm not sensing that here. I'm sensing this as someone you're either with or recently with, where things are stalled or in a limbo kind of energy. I don't think you guys like hate each other. It's not like that. It's more of a situationship. Anyway, oh, how do they see my viewer? Okay, we got King of Wands in reverse, Six of Swords in reverse, High Priestess in reverse, Three of Cups, this one spun around in reverse. Oh, excuse me, Three of Cups is straight up, Four of Cups in reverse, and Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So obviously a lot of reversal energy here. And by the way, this is the High Priestess is like one of the very few major arcana we've seen here so far. So these changes, by the way, are like subtle shifts. They're not massive changes. That's what I'm seeing with that. But they're seeing you as someone who's lacking passion or lacking control of your passion. That's what I'm seeing, lacking control of your passion. And, your Six of Swords is like a moving on energy, and they see you as not moving on, but you're also not using your intuition. And also the High Priestess can be like things that are hidden. So maybe you feel like you're being super duper on it, like honest and upfront and like putting it all out there. So they see you as putting it all out there. They see you not moving on. They see you like very passionate about them, but maybe not being, stable, like willing to put in the work, willing to be patient with them while they figure things out. I don't think they're disappointed in you. I think they still want a reunion with you. So I think they still care about you. They're viewing you though as somebody who is just, you're a little more, I don't want to say like willing to take that leap, but that's where I am. You're like more willing to be the fool and take that chance than they are. They're more than happy to just kind of let things lie and progress. And you're like, but I need answers, How do you, whoa, wow, you see them all up in your head, don't you? How does my viewer see this person that's in their mind? How do they see this person in their mind? Again, this is not legal advice, Tarot. I am Tinla, and this is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. How does my viewer see this person that they're thinking about? What is their perspective on this person? Maybe you're thinking, I don't think about them at all. You don't know me. Fair. But I don't think that's true, but fair. Just out with it. There you go. Thank you. The Chariot. Maybe you see them as moving on. Maybe you're interpreting your person not making a decision as them moving on. But what you're not realizing, again, is these tigers here that are pulling the Chariot are not moving. So your perspective may be wholly incorrect. And by the way, we have Eight of Wands on the bottom, and Wands is action, but Eight of Wands is like swift action. So you're seeing them as somebody who maybe like, oh, maybe they quickly moved on, right? Maybe like, oh, they couldn't make a decision with me, but they moved right the heck on with somebody else. Maybe there's some rumors floating around that they've moved on with somebody else. And I'm getting an agitated energy with you. I'm very much agitated toward this person energy. I don't think that's true, by the way. I don't think they've moved on. We've seen that sort of Four of Pentacles and reverse Four of Cups situation. I don't think they've moved on, but you're seeing them that way. Like, oh, they couldn't make a decision for me. I guess I'm not that important. Like, if they wanted to, they would. Anyway, what is, Spirit? I'm just going to jump right to the energy between the two of you. If there's a flow of energy between my viewer and the person on their mind, what does that energy look like? What does that energy look like? I'm feeling like it's cold. It's cold. And actually, it's cold on one side and kind of warmish on the other, which makes me think of like tornadoes where you've got like an updraft and a downdraft, and one is cold and one is warm, and that somehow creates a swirling that goes on. It's destructive, to be clear. It's very destructive. So I'm hoping I'm wrong on that. But, maybe it's a need to match energy, to balance. Let's see. Four of Wands. Four of Wands is, in again, the typical tarot, it's like a celebration. Usually of like, it's considered like a wedding or some kind of reunion or something positive happening. And I think, even though you both love each other, I think there's a sense of, is this really going to happen? Are we going to have this future? And I think, they're like, I don't know, because they genuinely don't know. And you're like, I don't know, because you're being a dork and can't figure it out. Bottom of the deck, Four of Pentacles. We just talked about that. Neither one of you, though, despite this lack of confidence in the progression of the relationship long term, you are not letting each other go, right? And I want to look at my numbers here, because 44 certainly means something, and I want to just be clear about that. And I just got it here. Upright says strong foundations and stability, inner work and healing, positive solutions are available to you, celebrating your hard work and reaping rewards. The affirmation is, I am strong, steady, and supported, and it's on page 38 of my book, which is number 11, which is also fortuitous. An energy perhaps of twin flames or intense soulmates. But, it's both of you are needing to gain strength in who you are individually. This person maybe needs to get the confidence to say it's okay to, make a decision. That doesn't mean that I'm being hasty or somehow inappropriate, or being pushed, to make a decision. It's okay to make one on my own. And you are standing in your strength saying, you know what, I'm going to I don't want to say force, but like train myself or meditate in such a way where I can come to terms with and be at peace with the person I love, maybe not really exemplifying clarity, which I'll tell you is difficult. I know for me, I would love for somebody to be like clear, like, hey, you're the person that I love, and this is what I want, and bing, bang, boom, no questions, Smitty for 3, it's good kind of thing. Drop a comment in the comment section if you know where my rando reference just now was from. Smitty for 3, it's good. All right, so what I'd like to look at is, Spirit, this is, by the way, the Black Tarot. It's, as you can see, not ill named. What I'd like to look at is your likely next action, the actual action you, my viewer, might take next toward this person. What is the actual action that you will take, if any, toward this person? And I have to say that because, it's not legal advice. We have to be precise, right? You may not take action. Thank you, Spirit. We've got Four of Swords. We got these fours just left and right, up and center. Four of Swords is a beautiful energy of kind of retreating into yourself and healing and growing and you know, you can see this person in this card here is like in a meditative position. You know, you are maybe going within and getting yourself to a place of peace and acceptance with um, whatever is going to be, right? Que sera, sera, if you will. And bottom of the deck, we have death, or the death and rebirth card, depending on how you see it. It is an energy of, and by the way, one of our first few major arcana here. You know, a significant change. It's recognizing I need to change paths. I am dying, if you will, to the old ways and being reborn into something better. And I'm seeing things in a way that I haven't seen them before. I'm seeing like, not seeing, but I'm imagining like hangman energy, um, where it's not just an energy of delay, it's energy of seeing things from a different perspective. What is the energy, excuse me, the actual action that the person on my viewer's mind is going to take, if any? If any. Thank you, Spirit. What is the actual action by the person on my viewer's mind that is likely to happen? Oh, there we go. Page of Swords. All right, this is an energy of hastiness. Like maybe in their head, they're visualizing like, okay, if I just come forward, if I just do the thing and cut through the mess, um, you know, there'll be something that happens here. It could also be a stalker energy, like I'm viewing your social media energy. I'm kind of lurking in the background, but not actually doing anything. So I think that's more likely the case, is this energy of like, oh, I'm going to look and what is it, like observe and report or something like that. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant. Again, more finally, like this is your major arcana energy. And notice, again, the major arcana have been at the bottom of the deck, like it's hidden. Like the major shift, the major change, it's hidden underneath what is all on top here. Hierophant energy is energy of, I mean, it's Taurus, which may or may not be important to you, but it's also energy of commitment. You know, I think that maybe they're hiding, this person, their real desire for commitment. You know, there's something going on with them where they're a little afraid to choose poorly here. Choose poorly. They don't want to choose poorly. All right, what is the energy like what is it my viewer would like really like to do that maybe they're not doing, if, you know, everything was on the table in a manner of speaking? What would my viewer like to do if there was, you know, no consequences and no chance of loss here? What would they like to do? My beautiful viewers, what would they like to do with respect to this person? Okay, and by the way, while I'm shuffling, y'all are going to think I'm crazy, and that's fine. You have them in the first. This person, the diagram of this person in this card, this page of swords here, there we go, looks a little bit like what I believe I've seen pictures of. Oh, what was the guy's name that was the head of the Church of Satan? I can't think of it right now. It'll come to me later. It's like on the tip of my tongue. I feel like it has a do, like a do or duh in it. Anyway, you know, again, the Church of Satan is really just about humanism and taking care of yourselves and being authentic and whatever. Not the point. I'm not here to shill for that. I'm just saying it looks a little bit like that. All right. If all things were off, you know, ready to be happening, the sun would be what you would do. This is energy of happiness, of just like, I think you want to celebrate. I think what sucks about this reading, from your perspective, viewer, is you want so badly just to have happiness with this person. You're like, this could be so easy. This could be so easy for us. It could be so great. It could be so wonderful. But you're all caught up in your head and worried about the what ifs, and you can't make a decision. You can't get off the pot, whatever. And just think about how wonderful and gorgeous it could be. We could get together. We could be healed. We could be great together. And you're just missing the boat, Chief. And I think it's frustrating. It's frustrating to watch like what you perceive as happiness like slip through your fingers and not by any choice of yours. And I think that's a very difficult thing to come to terms with and come to peace with. But rest assured that everything that is meant to happen will happen in divine timing. Bottom of the deck, Two of Spheres, that's the Two of Pentacles energy, which, is an energy of balance. It's an energy of, working through things to get stability. And what I'm feeling with this, because again, in each deck has its own personality and its own way of showing things. And in a lot of decks, like the Two of Spheres can be more equal, like side by side. This one is grossly out of proportion. This person is like grossly out of proportion holding these spheres. And that says to me that you so much want this love and this relationship with this person that you were thrown out of balance. You tossed away your own things, your own wants, your own dreams for this person. Maybe you sacrificed your work. Maybe you were just so fixated on this person that it wasn't good for you. So I think, in terms of your actions, Spirit's saying like, hey, I understand you want this happiness and wouldn't it be great, but to get there, we need to process through this Two of Pentacles tendency, this tendency to sacrifice. Hold on, I just got a couple things popping out here. We got Eight of Wands. Again, that's that communication, rapid action. We've got the Hierophant again, commitment. I'm sorry, Knight of Wands. This is energy of coming in briskly with passion. And what did I say? The Magician, all four elements coming together. The Magician, manifestation. I did not even ask the question yet. My next question was, going to be, of course, what action would this person like to take if there were no holds barred and no fear? Which I'm thinking about those 90s shirts are like, no fear. Anyway, I think a healthy amount of fear is appropriate, like don't go jumping off crazy high things, because you're like, oh, no fear. Like maybe have a little bit of reasonable fear, right? Anywho, the point is, if all things being equal, if they could take the action that they really, really wanted to, it would be fast. It would be communication about their desire to like have a commitment and stability with you that, also has like passion and just a lot of joy, and they're manifesting it. Like, I think they really want to see that. This is not just a pipe dream here of like, oh, I want to communicate. I want to have this and this. Like, no, they like are really truly manifesting it. I think they're hitting a wall though. I think they're like in some serious blockage here. By the way, bottom of the deck, Two of Spheres again. But, I think in their ideal world, they wouldn't be stuck in their head. They wouldn't just be spying on you from afar. They would be taking action. And they're not. And maybe you can have a small degree of, I don't want to say pity on them, but like understanding with them that they have had their own life experiences that are telling them, for whatever reason, don't take the action. You want to, but don't. And I think they're working through it. All right, what is the action that you would like to see your person take? And I do see a card that's reversed, so I'm going to come and get that in a second. So maybe you want to see them reverse course. All right, we've got Six of Wands, which is coming home energy with a victory. Page of Spheres, there's my friend. Page of Spheres, there's your guy, right? He is like absolutely, he stalks me. I'm not kidding. This Page of Spheres, he's wanting a fresh start. He's coming in strong. He's ready to go. But you got this Nine of Swords energy, which is an energy of nightmares. I think you're stuck in your head a little bit and you're worried about worst case scenario. But there's also like a part of you that's Ace of Cups. You, on the one hand, you're thinking, hey, buddy, come in with a victory. Come home to me. Give me this fresh start. But then there's like a counterbalance, this nightmare of, but like, if you give me this Ace of Cups, this like pouring out of love and affection, what does that look like for us? What does that mean for us? And so even though I think, you really want them to come in with this victory, this energy, this strength, and I'm seeing strong arms here, strong traps. You want to come in with this strength and also this patience and stability and consistency. There's, I think, an offset here of nightmares of fear. Well, what happens if they do that? And they would like you, my dear, to Knight of Spheres, to take it slow. Like, be patient with them. Give them a minute. Like, let them work through it, right? Let me see. We got at the bottom, we got Seven of Wands. And I think I mentioned Seven of Wands earlier, very early in this reading, Seven of Wands. And I thank you once again for sticking with me on this. I'm seeing 5005 on the timer. So maybe that means something to you. You know, five is, a great energy of working through things. Seven of Wands is boundaries, of holding their own. You know, they are wanting you to slow it down, to work through things, right? In their ideal world, you are giving them patience. You are allowing them to work through their issues. And also, I think they want you to hold their boundaries. I think they've gotten away with a lot in their lives before where maybe they needed a little bit of boundary setting. They needed someone who was going to push them into some healing. So what is the action that is likely to occur between the two of you? You know, if you actually did the things and they did the things that everybody needed and wanted, what would these actions be between the two of you? You're going to Two of Cups this thing? You're going to Lovers this thing? Let's find out on the next episode of The Price is Right, or what have you. What is the action between you? Okay, we got two cards. We got King of Wands, Five of Wands. This says to me, again, first of all, you got a lot of wands. It's fire energy. So it's movement, it's passion. But it's also an energy of fighting for this connection. Your actions, I think the both of you, in your own ways, are fighting for this connection. And I think you both feel like, with those Four of Cups in the bottom of the deck, that if you don't do that, if you don't turn around, again, in the typical tarot, there's like a cup coming out of the sky, and it's like, oh, just stop looking at the sadness and focus on the new cup coming in. I think that if you feel like if you can see all the cups, you will be able to actually, reach something good here. All right, and let's see. All right, one second. All right, my camera's doing funny stuff, funny business. So we'll find out how that goes. All right, let's find out. I think we're done with this deck. All right. And by the way, Two of Spheres back at the bottom, Two Coins, right? All right. Let's take a look at what the outcome is likely to be here, and then we'll get into some messages from your person and you. All right. What is the outcome? And I'm just going to give a full-on spread on this, and then we'll talk about it. What is the outcome? Now, of course, outcomes are changeable. It varies. Free will exists. It is a thing. So, depending on the actions that occur and when they occur and blah, 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 these outcomes are variable. So let's find out, what is the outcome likely to occur for my beautiful viewers. And by the way, have you liked and subscribed and shared and all that like good stuff, like hyping? Apparently that's a thing. You can like hype me and all that business. If you're feeling this, if this energy is resonating with you, do let me know. It means a lot to know there's somebody on the other side of the screen here who is really getting the feeling of what I'm saying, what Spirit, I think, is saying through me, to be honest with you. Anyway, let's get an outcome. What are the outcomes here? What is the outcome? Likely outcome, please. All right. All right, Seven of Wands energy again. That's that energy of setting boundaries. You stick to your boundaries, and I think you're going to be on your way. Like, you want somebody who's going to respect your boundaries anyway, right? You want somebody who's going to help you in the journey to achieve balance. That Two of Pentacles we talked about. You want someone who's going to do that, and the way they do that is by respecting the boundaries you set. You know what I mean? You set boundaries with your time, with your energy, with your attention, with your money. Get a Tower here. It's going to be a big change for you. I think you're used to giving everything to a relationship and maybe not respecting yourself along the way. Like, you want so badly, I think, to have the relationship that you sacrifice yourself. along the way. By the way, oh, that flew right out there. The Tower is 16, which is 1 and 7 is 7. So you have 7, 7. I'm going to look that up in a second. And then we got 9 of Wands. You know, that's that wounded warrior energy. That's the energy of like, you're almost there. Like, don't give up. You can do it. I know you're tired. I know you're like really over it, but don't do that. You are so close to getting to where you want to be. Just be patient as much as you can be. And number 77, it's we talked about that inner strength to overcome difficulties, alignment with your soul's purpose, positive changes unfolding in your path, tuning to a frequency of love and growth. It says affirmation, I am exactly where I need to be, i.e., the book doesn't say this, but I'm saying it. Be at peace with who you are right now and be patient with the process. By the way, it's on page 45, which is number 9, if you were to add that together. So I think it's beautiful energy. I think it's tough. You know, you hear me say, it's beautiful energy, and you're like, I hate you so much because I want to be with my person. And I get it. Okay? I get it. It sucks. On one level, it totally sucks. But on another, you know, you are the greatest love of your life. And the gift of this journey is not just the beautiful, wonderful, fun, romantic things that you have with somebody else. The gift is loving yourself and growing and feeling some kind of way. Anyway, sorry, enough lectures. 9 of Cups. Look at that. See, wish fulfillment. If you can stick it through, you can get the wish fulfillment. Another 9. So we're going to look up 99 in a second. Queen of Cups at the bottom. You know, you're looking fine. You're looking beautiful. You're open. You're ready for love. You know, the outcome is, you know, you're ready to receive that love that's there for you, whether it's with your person or otherwise. Maybe it's just a love for, you know, having the entire bed to yourself, or, you know, eating a bowl of cereal for dinner and enjoying, like, you know, whatever TV program you want to watch without the input of somebody else. Thank you very much. You know, happiness can be simple things like that, you know. Also, think about how much energy you have to put in a relationship. It's exhausting, to be honest. I mean, that's like, oh, I got to consider this person's feelings, and what do they want for dinner? What do they do? And did they have a hard day? And do I need to ask about that? And what is their mood like? And how do I, yeah, whatever. Anyway, there's pros and cons, is what I'm saying. Pros and cons. All right, let's keep going with the outcome here. I think it's very auspicious, by the way, to have an outcome of a 9 of Cups. That's great. The Devil, there's some obsession energy here. The Sun, happiness. We love it. Love to see it. Okay, let me shift these over so we can get these cards here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some of this, a few of these, a couple of those. And we've got, okay, that flipped. I want to tell you, did I not mention how this little Page of Pentacles thing follows me around all the time? Well, here he is again, my old friend. King of Pentacles. Okay, so, you know, there's a temptation here and an urge. I'm seeing this as an urge to get to happiness. Can we just get there already? Like, when will then be now? Soon, right? Are we there yet? Kind of thing. And you want that so badly. And I think it's in the future. I think that maybe you all have a discussion about this energy and can reach a resolution where, you know, you both want to get here. How do we do that? How do we navigate that? You know, if you can both be authentic with yourselves and each other, you can get there. And of course, the Page of Pentacles is this energy of let's start over, let's try again, mulligan, right? Coming forward to each other with, you know, small offers like, hey, I can give you the grace to explore your feelings. And this person, I can give you the grace to give you some clarity. And just, again, step by step by step, with the ultimate outcome being King of Pentacles, stability, growth, a fruitful, you know, future together, really ruling the kingdom. I wouldn't be surprised, quite honestly, if we saw the Queen of Pentacles come up, but let's figure out what happens here, right? Let's see the gripping conclusion. And then I want to come back to this 9-9. Oh, wait, we got a card flipped over. Hold on. We got a card flipped over, everybody. What is it? 10 of Cups. Look at that. Okay. 10 of Cups underneath our 9 of Cups. Oh, and there's a card underneath. What are you? Hold on. The Hangman. Seeing things from a different perspective, right? Again, Hangman can be stalling, can be delay, but it can also be change in perspective. And I think in the outcome here, there is happiness. There is not just wish fulfillment, but all the way through to completion, and happiness, long-term happiness, stability, happiness and love, seeing things from a different perspective, really trying to view things differently. Bottom of the deck, Four of Cups, we have that energy again. See, remember I told you where like it's like, oh, you're looking over here at the sadness, but there's another thing here. So outcome, turn around, turn around. Sorry, I start singing and I don't want to subject you all to that. So let me go real quick. I said I was going to look at the 9-9. So I don't mean Brooklyn 9-9. I just mean the number. Okay, 9-9 is finding your true path in life, connecting to your higher self, period of powerful growth and transformation, cycles coming full circle. And the affirmation is, I owe no explanations for doing what is best for me. And I think that's true on both sides. It's coming into that energy of, yes, I am a person who needs clarity. Yes, I'm a person who needs patience and time and the ability to be flexible and really work through things. And then accepting one another for who you are. This person accepting that you need like at least something, a little Page of Pentacles energy, a little give, a little something. You coming in and saying, I need to change my perspective and understand that just because somebody doesn't see things the way I do, or they need time to work through things, that doesn't mean that we're doomed to fail. The online dating coaches maybe aren't right here. All right, let's get some oracle cards about what you and your person would have to say to one another. And what I did is this mishmash of a couple decks, which kills me, by the way. I'm going to have to split those up again, but so be it. For you, my dear viewer, anything. I'm seeing 10-10 on my timer, but that's because it's upside down. Regardless, what would this person say to my viewer? Just going to mix it and take from the top. What would they say to my viewer, the person on my viewer's mind? Thank you so much for watching and sticking with me this long. What would they say? Really great outcome, by the way. I think that, it may not be dramatic. It may not be like movie level, but it is long lasting. Is what I'm hearing. Long lasting energy of we can work through anything together if we can just see each other's perspectives. Why can't I tell you the truth? I think your person's stalled out. We talked about this the whole reading. They can't be honest because maybe they don't even know what to say. They don't know themselves what the truth is, right? They're figuring it out. They're in the middle, I'm hearing like Jimmy Eats World in the middle, right? So maybe Jimmy is important to you. I've heard, people, something popped out, refer to sprinkles as Jimmy. So do what you will with that. You would say karma. Okay, what goes around comes around, my friend. Like, you're going to be this way. Well, haha. Okay, we're just, we're not going to do that. So next one. I somehow trust you. It comes to a level of trust, to be honest. Do you trust this person to make the right decision when it comes time? Does this person trust you to be patient with them when they need it? Trust is fundamental. Please do what is best for your heart. Now, honestly, I'm not going to lie. I see this as like, go ahead, do what you got to do, whatever, like very kind of sarcastic on this. Like, you just, whatever makes you happy, okay? Right? Like, I think you're over it. I think you're frustrated, and I get it. But, at some level, it is true. Like, you do want the person to be happy, but you're also like, I hate you. Okay, we have, I want to man up and honor you. Again, non-gendered, irrelevant, forget man. I want to man up, woman up, non-binary person up, whatever. Okay, this person wants to respect you, and I think they know at some level that by not making a decision, they're hurting your feelings. And but they want to come in and they want to do it right. They don't want to come in halfway. They want to come in all the way. If they're going to do it, they want to do it right. Why is it that you love me? I think it has you questioning yourself. Why do you love me? Why are you here? Like, why are we even having this discussion? Why can't I get over you? Like, what is up with this? I can't stand it. That's what I'm hearing. I can't stand it with you anymore. Enough with you. You deserve the best. Oh, isn't that sweet? Oh, look at that. We got a blank card. We'd love to hear it. and I see you in myself. Okay. And I long for your kiss. So I do think they long for you. They miss you. They want you. You deserve the best is kind of a cop out energy. Like, oh, I can't make a decision, but you do you. You have a great life. Crickets. And then also like, okay, kind of see like this is the shadow side of you. So I kind of see like myself here and you see maybe yourself here. Like they're coming out of this, oh, you deserve the best. I want to man up. I want to, right? And they're going to this Four of Swords, like retreat energy of, I need to go within and heal. And also seeing that perhaps you are showing them a side of themselves that they hadn't seen before or maybe hadn't been at peace with, which is good. I think we need to love ourselves on the whole, the good, the bad, the ugly. Love our partners, good, the bad, the ugly. Anyway, emotions overwhelm me. I can't make you happy. How could you ever forgive the mess I've made? And I'm trying my best to forgive, which honestly comes up in the middle here. So, okay, emotions overwhelm me. Your emotions, what are they? We were just talking about it. You're frustrated, you're irritated, you're like over it. These emotions are tempting you to just throw your hands up in the air. And I don't mean like you just don't care. I mean, throw them up in the air like you're over it, you're done, you want to move on. You feel like I can't make you happy. Like I'm here, I'm there, I'm giving you this, I'm doing that. Like, what is the problem? Why can't you just get with the program? You feel like I'm losing one way or another. And then on the other hand, you realize by pushing you, I made a mess of things. I shouldn't have done that. Can you forgive me for that? And both of you were like, hey, can you forgive me? I'm trying my best to forgive. I want to forgive you for making a mess by pushing me more than I was ready to be pushed. And they're like, I want to forgive you for not giving me clarity, for making me feel unloved, unwanted, because you couldn't man up and do the things. And both of you, I see you when I close my eyes. They've burned themselves and you've burned yourself into their retina. They see you when they close their eyes. It's a little uncanny. And I'm feeling like a couple messages. Oh, just a couple messages here from this deck. My life started when I met you. Okay. But also I just want space to decide, you know. Um, June 2nd, February 6th maybe is important. Just a couple more messages and then we will move on with our lives here. Seek professional advice. Maybe they need some therapy. Think before you act. Again, blue is communication energy. They want you to just not force them. Don't make them do what they're not ready to do. You hurt me, but that's okay, I guess. Very passive aggressive, right? Very much like, oh, I guess I can't make you happy, so why should I even try? you know, um, Not blaming you, just saying that's the energy. I'm open to compromise. I think you're getting to a point where you are ready to do things in a different way than you ever have. Like you're doing things differently than you have. They're doing things differently. Like maybe their energy is to run. Their energy is to, I can't make a decision, leave me alone. And your energy is like, I want to run away because I feel very insecure if someone's not doing exactly the way I want them to do. Anywho, this is not legal advice, but it's also not psychological advice. This is, what I'm just feeling like spirit is coming to me to say to you, my beautiful viewers. Okay, a couple more. I worry about us a lot. Yes, I see that. You're a worrywart. You're really feeling concerned about the situation. I think you're scared. There is someone else. I think you're scared there's someone else. We talked about that. I think you're scared they've moved on, that they've forgotten about you, that they really don't care. And they say, I'm absolutely in love with you, which is beautiful. It makes me want to kind of cry. I want a fresh start with you. I'm sorry. I got wrongful advice. I'm going to leave it with that because I think it just sums everything up. This person's in love with you. There's not someone else. You both want a fresh start. You got Page of Pentacles. You're both sorry to each other. Maybe you both got wrongful advice. I'm seeing like wrongful advice from these damn dating coaches online. Oh, if you wanted to, you would. You guys love each other. So if the question is, it's Friday, am I in love? I think the answer is yes. So thank you for joining me on this Friday. Happy Halloween. Much love. Bye.